The Marine Prince starts at the bottom right of the map. Very young player.
Madu Prime. Madu Prime.
Ken is so excited about him that he gets a double intro.
He's like, don't forget, he's Maru. His opponent to the top left, of course, player with already 2 wins. He is
Axiom Young.
probably just going to play safe on this 2-player map.
Yeah. Maru being 15 years old, the youngest player that we currently have in the GSTL.
Neither player going to go for a wall off directly here. NOS #1 clan in Korea supporting esports. That's a big sign. That's like 4 signs put together.
Well, if Venezuela and the Prime team continue down this road, maybe we should see them in the next GSTL.
Maybe so.
If that happens, if Prime loses here and NSOSA and Prime end up at the bottom of the rankings at the end of the season, they should just merge.
Merge. Could be. We saw this happen to ZenX, actually, in all seriousness.
Yeah, and think about what happened after that.
Yeah.
Young ZenX Life suddenly becoming one of the strongest players in the entire StarCraft 2 universe, and also players like Avenge doing really well.
Yeah, you know, you've got these startup players like Avenge who did not really find much success on ZenX, but when he came into StarTale, is doing a lot better. Notice the careful scouting pattern here for Ryung. He checks the natural, just making sure there's no proxies. Very, very careful play. And he is just going to do that delayed gas build. Maru, on the other hand, a more aggressive gas timing, but nothing too all-in-ish.
I mean, that's what we used to see from Maru, getting the early gas here. That's really what he loves to do. He wants to be the one who has all the options, who can be aggressive, and that's the path that he usually chooses.
Here comes the scouting SCV. And this is where Ryung is going to feel very comfortable, saying, oh, okay, he went for a quick gas, but nothing is proxied, and I can now just safely take my factory and expand. Reaper comes down for Maru. This is going to be how he scouts his opponent. This is very tense for Prime right now. Maru's got a lot of pressure on him.
Yeah, he definitely does, and I would have loved to see him do something cheeky, which he doesn't really do. We have now the first Reaper coming out, so he is also going to get his scouting information, seeing what's happening in the main base of his opponent. A kill on Waste was his map choice. He could think about which map he is most confident in playing. And we have, of course, the expansion with the Reaper backup for both players, by the way.
Yeah, there's the reactor going down. We'll start his factory as soon as he has 100 gas. I have a feeling we're going to see Maru go mech play. It's just this gut feeling I have right now. It seems like the only reason why he would pick this map if he's going to not do an aggressive strategy to try to kill his opponent's harvesters early, but rather just takes a safe expand. This is so smart by Ryung. He's going to get in here. And, well, he could have, but he's not sure what's up there, I guess. Turns around.
But he doesn't really assume that there's... I mean, he does not assume he saw the spot for the command center, right?
Yeah.
That would be a little bit too weird. It's a bit surprising that he didn't try to double check.
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised by that as well. I mean, it's just an SCV. If he loses it, it's worth it to see. He also saw there was only 1 Marine up there, so...
As long as he does not think his SCV was in the line of sight of a potential expansion, it's fine.
Right.
Because that happens occasionally. A player will scout and will just barely miss it and then assume that there was nothing. So that would be very annoying for Ryung. So I just hope that he was well aware that his SCV didn't go up the ramp far enough to spot an expansion.
I like that he sends his SCV to the top right to take that watchtower right now. It's going to, of course, give him a lot of vision of any drops. He also checked to make sure there were no proxy starports over there. Since he is a little bit in the dark about what Maru has done with his gas just yet, and he didn't see a command center. All he saw was the Reaper. And a much faster command center on the low ground goes to Maru here, who's going into Hellions and even Widowmine production now.
That's the advantage that Maru has here, of course, with the command center on the low ground. He doesn't lose any time to build SCVs into mine from his second base. A bit of an advantage over Ryung, who is now going for the first few medevacs. So he will be the one who can start his drop play. But we have, for his opponent,
we have a
Tech Lab.
Tech Lab, but Banshee is not on the way. He's going for a Viking, or rather a medevac, excuse me, first. I wonder if he'll go into a Raven after this, just to be safe.
He wants to drop those 4 Hellions that he has.
This Reaper has just been so lucky. He's always getting it at the perfect moments. Now goes into the main base. We'll see everything.
Might even snipe an SCV or 2 here. Ah, the Hellion's already out.
Yeah, Hellion comes out at the perfect moment. If he targets, he could get that one. He does.
Yeah. damages the Hellion a little bit. And here we have now suddenly Cloak coming. So it's going to be the drop that we talked about. Two Medivacs, sorry, to 2 Hellions and 2 Widow Mines, and then going into Cloak. He needs to hold here at the front, though, and he doesn't have a bunker.
Yeah, this is looking really, really, really scary. If he just commits right now, there's not enough. He's got the Medivac as well. Maru is in trouble. He needs those Widow Mines here, but they're going out in the drop.
The Widow Mines on the drop, and he retreats to his main base immediately. Those Hellions get the perfect shots.
Oh, that was perfect for Ryung here, and Maru, he needs to make this drop work. There's not a lot at home to defend, so this could do a lot of damage, but can he even survive? That's the question.
He's losing way too many SCVs already. I mean, most of them are damaged, and here comes the drop finally. The Widow Mines, they need to burrow immediately, and that's what they do. And I don't think that Ryung realized it. Oh! A
great shot, but he needs a second one.
Yeah, exactly. But the Hellions come in, and they are cleaning house, but the Prime player is down to only 4 Harvesters.
And the drop is now finally pushed back. All he needs is a scan. Scan is good.
Even with the damage done, a Prime player won't have a chance here. I mean, 16 supply against 53 Harvesters against 26.
He is in a very, very tough spot, to say it lightly. And
I mean, let's be honest about this. Maru can try to hit Marine King GG timing, but that is kind of all he can do.
This is almost depressing for the Prime team, what's happened to them here. The thing is, he didn't have an SCV scouting. If he had one SCV patrolling the bottom of his ramp, he would have seen the push coming, would have turned his Medivac around instantly and put those Widow Mines down. If those 2 Widow Mines are there, Maru doesn't have a problem holding. It's not easy, but he can definitely defend it. But if the Widow Mines are going, it's in a way bad luck, but if he had an SCV patrolling at the bottom of his ramp, he would have seen this coming.
Ryung's push just had the perfect timing. He went up the ramp at a time when Maru had half of his units walking to the top left, and Maru did a lot of damage. I mean, think about it. Maru really did a lot of damage with those Widow Mines. It's just that Ryung did so much more with his.
Yeah. He killed not only Harvesters with his attack, but a lot of units.
Even if this bunker is ready, then suddenly the entire defense is so much better for Maru, and then the damage that he does at the top left to Ryung just comes into play a lot more.
Yeah, it equalizes. Maru now going into a 3rd command, or at least attempting to, getting a Raven out. And what Ryung can do here, if he wants to, is hit a very aggressive timing. He knows the possibility for Maru to just do a follow-up all-in is there, so he's waiting, he's being patient, he doesn't want to make a 3rd command center yet.
Maru is trying, he's doing what he can, he's really attempting, but you can see that now suddenly we have the Raven gone, the first shots at the Banshee, the Vikings see everything. And what can Maru do here? I mean, seriously.
He's hoping for a miracle. And he loses his Banshee as well because he's dealing with the Vikings that harass his SCV line a little bit.
The only thing that he can hope for here is a disconnect, and by now we have the take control, take commands, resume from replay feature, so even a disconnect is not going to help him.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Really good siege tank shots here on the bunker. He's got the perfect position. He just needs to make sure he micros his Vikings well. And there's a drop in the main as well. Hellions and Marines. He's going to lose too much more. He's half the Harvester count of his opponent, and it's only getting worse with this drop.
Yeah, he's half the supply, 41 against 84. Another command center now for Ryung. He doesn't take any chances here. Putting up the siege tanks, focusing at the bunker. The SCVs are dying. Workers killed, 41.
He can't even get his siege tank close enough to the ramp to deter the fire. The bunker maybe gets a salvage. No, doesn't even get the salvage. Lands a Viking. He is desperate. Even the auto turret looks like really sad and lonely up at the top of the ramp.
He can't afford his upgrades. Ryung is floating 900 minerals now, 500 gas. Still twice the supply of his opponent. Is going into Stim, another command center, combat shield, +1 nearly done.
I think Ryung actually just thought Maru was going to go for an all-in after that, and it did not happen. So now he's like, well, I guess I have to get all my upgrades and start more production facilities, get more command centers. Here comes another drop, and this is going to draw his forces away from the natural.
This scenario is just devastating for the Prime team. I really feel for them here. This is awful. This is difficult to watch.
More and more Harvesters going down.
He's down to 23 against 52 now. The income is completely in shambles.
There's nothing Maru can do here. He has triple SCV production, but Ryung is about to have quadruple with his 4th command center going down. 4 barracks on the way. Stim is nearly done. And Maru has tried to make a mech composition with less than 10 Harvesters at a time, and
this would be the comeback of the century.
Yeah, I think.
I mean, he still believes in his chances. He's hoping for Ryung to make a huge mistake. He's looking at this and he's like, yes, I'm so far behind. you can't possibly be farther behind than he
Yeah.
is. He was at 4 harvesters against 30. Or against 22 at this point when the Widowmine shots at the top left hit. So right now, Mario is just looking at this like, if he makes a huge mistake, maybe I can fight my way back in.
2 eBays going down for Maru, and those are the saddest eBays I've ever seen. They may never even become used, just like the cloak that never really came into play for Maru. He's had a rough game. He wanted to go for mech. You could see it, getting the Raven out. Now he's trying to switch into bio with very late eBays, very low economy. He does buy a lot of time here with these Hellions, actually.
But the supply alone, that's a 50 supply lead in a mirror match with better upgrades for Ryung.
And it's just going to get worse.
Yeah, exactly. The Armory already on its way, a 3 base economy, mining from 3 mineral lines. The second attack upgrade already started. Now the missile turrets, of course, Ryung is looking at this game and he's like, okay, well, he didn't leave. Why? What could happen? Maybe he could drop me. I have the resources. Why not invest in those turrets and be safe?
Exactly. He's going to now attack. And he knows that Maru doesn't even have a 3rd command center set because he has a Marine hidden over there. He's going to siege up the main base and do a little bit of drop play here and start picking away at that command center. And Maru can't, he doesn't have the siege tank count, he doesn't have the manpower to actually push this back.
Yeah. And also, Ryung doesn't have to trade cost efficiently here. He doesn't.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. These Marines don't even have combat shields or stem.
He has the better vision thanks to the Vikings.
He hasn't even started combat shields. This is so terrible for Maru right now. Here comes the attack in the natural. He's got too much in the main. He's going to lose the bunker.
Sieging up with the siege tank, suddenly controlling the ramp, and bye-bye Marines.
GG. Ryung takes a 3rd win here, and Maru looking really, really like he was having a tough time in this TVT.
The inevitable conclusion after this early game. Maru leaves the match, and now suddenly the Prime team is down 3 games. Not at all what I expected today.
And now Ryung does actually look bored. He has no look of satisfaction on his face at this moment in time.
I cannot believe we are so close to another all-kill. Of course, with this format, an all-kill is much more likely than it was last season. But I have to admit I'm a little bit disappointed here.
I am as well. I thought this team match was going to be a lot closer. It's not over yet, and things could change, but is Byun really going to get a reverse all-kill? Is he even going to be able to dent Ryung, who's shown dominance, pure domination in his 2 TVTs today?
Axiom-Acer is just shaping up more and more to be one of the dominating teams in this season, and with the Prime team being this predictable, we talked about this. This is their weakness, and it just shows.
Yeah, I mean, if you asked me before the season started if I thought Axiom-Acer would be dominating Prime, I would have said, I don't know, maybe. I'm not sure. I have to see how things develop, but now they're really one of the powerhouses. If they win today, they become the top of the leaderboard. This is an insanely good team that's very small, but has a lot of talent. You can see the environment they have at the team house that's set up for them there is really, really working out well. And for Prime, Maru very, very unhappy with the results, of course. We're suddenly on camera. But I think it's got to be Byun next. No doubt in my mind. And the thing is, it's predictable, but what other choice do they have? Do they send somebody out? You don't want to send a new guy out ever in the 4th match. We saw that yesterday. Sanai comes out and gets totally stomped.
The only reason that I could see a new player coming out is that Gerard looks at this like, whatever.
Desperation.
It's lost anyways. Byun can maybe take a game or 2, which is good for the indicator, but we need the match win. And we are not going to get that. If Gerard is really looking at this like, well, this is not going to happen, then he might as well just send someone out and be like, you know what, doesn't matter if you lose, you have no pressure whatsoever, just do your best. If you can take a game, that's great, but you at least get a little bit of experience in the booth.
That could happen.
The only reason why I could see anyone else than Byun come out now.
I'm a little bit disappointed that, we talked about this a little bit, but I want to talk about this a little bit more. I'm disappointed we don't see snipers, we don't see all-in strategies, we don't see proxies, we don't see anything except, well, Ryung beat me in a macro game, I'll beat him in a different macro game, and I'm going to play the late game, and I'm going to beat him. And it just, Ryung's like, well, no, I'm better than you at macro games, I win. And in this case, there was a little bit of a weird bad luck timing for Maru. He didn't see the push coming, and then Ryung got a lead there.
It's also, one of the reasons why I can't understand this is that they have quite a few players who are currently in Code B. why not put one of those players up to be a sniper? I mean, he doesn't have to do anything else anyways.
Yeah.
The guy this is the most important team league that they have to play in. There is no individual league for the Code B players right now that they have to prepare for. So why not just set the guy down and be like, okay, well, you have like 1 week right now, and you can prepare for this match, and you don't do anything else.
Yeah,
play
exactly.
this one thing. You look up all the videos that are out there for him. I know it's not a lot right now. We have Heart of the Swarm. There are not a lot of matches, but take the ones that you can get. Look for a few sniper builds. You have the map choice. Play whatever map you want.
Yeah, I mean, for me, like, the idea of using Creator to do an all-in would surprise so many people. He never does all-ins. I mean, it's so rare. So occasionally, like, 1 out of 100 games, he does a 6-gate, but it's not even that all-in. He can transition, but doing something like that would really throw Ryung off and might get you a win and get you that momentum that you need. But Gerard instead is taking the approach of, we're just going to win macro games, but so far today, that's not worked out.
People always say that they feel that macro games are like the thing that you should do in StarCraft, and I completely disagree.
I'm with you, man.
The thing is, if you have such an advantage, go with it. You have the map choice, you have the matchup, go with the advantage that you have, exploit it, be merciless, and take down opponents. And this is what he has to do right now.
Yeah, Bjorn is the last man standing. He has shown great macro games in the past, but is that going to stack up against Ryung? So far, the answer has been no.
He's streaming a lot these days. He's playing great games. His TVT is scary.
He's a really, really, really strong player. He already has an all-kill this season. He is the new ace of Prime. And now, can he show that? Can he get multiple wins here and perhaps go for the reverse all-kill? It's going to be a long and hard road. Marine King talking to him here just a little bit briefly. Fellow Terran player.
Dude, whatever you do, don't lift your command center.
It didn't really work out. I'm not really sure what I was thinking about that.
All jokes aside, they're of course talking about the map and about what they could do. They had plenty of time to study the TVT of Ryung. And as I said, Jan is a monster in Terran versus Terran. He is dominating the North American ladder. He was 16-0 against the Muslim just recently. They are battling it out there all the time, but also on the Korean ladder, he is very dominant. We are going to see if that's enough to take down Axiom-Acer after a 5-minute break, and then we'll be back with the Prime team up against Axiom-Acer and, of course, Jan versus Ryung.